Alrighty. Hey nerds, Sage here. You might be wondering what the heck I'm doing, so after I did that video on the guard bow, I figured I would do another one on a weird weapon that a lot of people kind of look at. I wouldn't say ignored. Berkut's lance kind of has its own thing, but it it wasn't exactly the best thing. Let's just say when Berkut was coming out, everyone was super excited for what he could have. I remember everyone being like, oh, what if he has his weapon, you know, the named weapon from the... I forget what exactly it was called, but everyone was like, oh man, what if it's another distant counter lance? And then, boop, boop. No, not none. Boop. That basically is none. Boop. As you can see there, grants +4 res when the unit is under attack. Yippee. As you can see, I've been working on trying to get units that have unique weapons, and then I've been like transferring them over to other units to see how well it would go. That's just the idea, at least. It's been going well. Jacob's almost done, and well, I was working on more Heroes Armory and Heroes Profile, which is gonna be done this week, thank the Lord. But I've been trying to do other things. The next Heroes Armory is of course going to focus on legendary weapons, and then also a weapons priority list. But a lot of you have been going, well, what's so crazy about Berkut's lance? Well, we made fun of it a lot back in the day, but we're just gonna head on over to the weapon refinery and show you something that's a little weird. Usually, I don't really enjoy resistance weapons, but I'm just gonna take a second, take you down a stroll. So first up, just outside of the normal, you know, might and everything that comes with it, its effect gets boosted to +7 res, which, you know, that's actually a pretty hefty boost. But then, when you go and scroll down, you of course need to remember that there's also resistance, and, you know, the resistance, you know, refinement that you can go into. So, I mean, it's, you know, 6 + 6 - 1 is, you know, 11. I almost said 12. That's quick maths, but as you can see, that's quite a lot of resistance, and that can be a weapon that would be absolutely, undeniably crazy. With I wouldn't say so much with Berkut, but it does help Berkut out quite a bit, at least when tanking mages. In fact, it helps out several other, well, lance units that can possibly run this and become even better at it. Some of the examples I can think of, just to give you an idea. I'm going to just run down this list real quick. I don't know if I actually have a 5-star version of her anymore. I think I kind of got ragey. Oh, nope, I still do. Technically, Perry, she's a pretty good res tank if you do get her correctly. And she can be a goddamn wall when it comes to mages at points. Then there's all sorts of other lance units out there. I know, as much as I hate to mention this, Jagan is one character that everyone, you know, always goes, oh god, it's the old crusty old man. He is a wall for resistance, and this just makes him more of a wall for resistance. And that is terrifying. Now, just imagine that, but here is the other possibility that I oftentimes think about when it comes to Berkut's lance, at least in this form. Mostly, when it comes to... I'm skipping over her. Should have put her in my party, I was not thinking. But anyways, here it is. Here is Effie. Effie, as you can see here, might be a little bit... I forget what increments she actually has in resistance and what my IVs were with this Effie herself. But as you can see here, 24 resistance. Now just imagine this possibility, guys, okay? She's already technically an award emblem team, as you can see here. This is what I'm going to be trying to build for her. Instead of going Brave Lance, I'm going to be giving her Distant Counter. I know, a lot of you, there's a lot of people out there who go, don't do that, Distant Counter is terrible on her. But now that you have something like Berkut's Lance that can be upgraded and then possibly given to her, imagine the possibilities here, because Ward Armor, of course, is something that she's going to be running with. My armor team already kind of has that. But now with Distant Counter and Berkut's Lance, she's going to get also the 11 resistance that comes from that, on top of the, you know, 24 resistance that she has and whatever amount that she has due to party members nearby. Essentially, she's going to be a wall in a lot of other ways, and that's what I want. I want her to be that one character that when people come in and see her, they're not ready for it. Berkut's Lance allows that. It's kind of crazy how the one lance that we all made fun of back in the day, you know, the guard bow, the assassin bows, and then of course now we have Berkut's Lance, which was just like, oh god, what is that? Why did they give it to Berkut, of all characters? Well, now it kind of makes sense, and it kind of is something I'm actually quite interested in seeing how that's going to work. I want to test it out, and I'm going to be doing that, but I need to farm up a few more refinement stones after I kind of sunk a ton in Jacob and also gave a bunch to Priscilla. And then after I do that, I can actually get Eldigan up, but yes, a lot of you have been pointing to Berkut's Lance as a weapon that everyone wants to talk about, and let me just tell you, as a weapon, it is going to be something to look forward to, because that is a lot of resistance to have on a single weapon. And since, a lot of characters that might be more, defensive-based can work with that, that's a good thing. The possibilities that work with that are endless in a lot of ways. There are a lot of Lance units out there who could probably make do with this. I can't, I'm thinking of ones that have high resistance, but even the ones that have low resistance will get a lot of benefit from this just because of that. +4, and then, all that 7 resistance that comes from the innate, passive effect that it has, it's going to be a very odd... I'd never thought I was going to be like, well, guess I'll just take that crappy lance off of you, Berkut. It's crazy, but it's good. There's a lot of weird little weapons in this new, system that have these little effects that just make them... changes them from their fundamental, I don't know if that's useful, and turns them into this. It's really hard to say if it's better than Slaying Lance in some ways, but for some physical walls, it might not be hard to imagine a more resistance-based wall as well with that. I actually ran into a Perry who had one of these earlier, and she had a massive amount of resistance. Even my Green Tome unit could not destroy her without a triangle, adept kind of thing going on. That's what it would have required. Thankfully, Perry kind of has no defense, but at least not very much defense when it comes to other units, so this worked out well enough. But yeah, that is terrifying. And a lot of you were asking me to look at that, but are there any other weapons you guys can think of that might be interesting to look at? I know everyone keeps talking about slaying weapons and how crazy they are, and how I should really be covering them, but I like looking at the odd weapons, the ones that you kind of have to look at and go, that's interesting. So yeah, Berkut's Lance, definitely something very fun. God, it's hard to imagine. Very hard to imagine, but yeah. Now I'm going to start working on that. I need to get some more refinement stones. I did a bunch of quests today. Got it back up to 15, woo, but still need to work on more. Got to get some more arena medals. Those are pretty much depleted now. Where's my free arena medals? Give them to me. No, I'm kidding. That's coming sometime soon, I hope. Anyways, catch you nerds later. Thanks for watching.